Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Finally.
I am Christiana Ellis. I am the Dungeon Master, and our players tonight, we have the full roster. Chooch Schubert as Autarky.
Hello, hello.
Starla Hodgson as Nirakina Ethu.
Greetings and salutations.
Cadence of the Water, played by Jenny Meltzer.
Hi.
And James Meltzer as Ket of the Sands.
Hola!
But it's also James's birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday, James!
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
22 what?
Snakes in a trench coat.
Fantasy years. So I think it is a must that we all sing
no, it's
happy
not.
birthday for.
Oh my God, you're all getting me back.
Yeah.
Starla, take the lead.
No.
Darla, take the wheel.
I
You're the
I
pro.
will volunteer to take the lead,
Jesus.
but I do require participation. Everyone who participates gets inspiration.
Ooh.
All right, everyone ready?
Oh, yeah.
Happy
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday
Happy
to you.
Happy birthday
to you.
So,
1,000 more.
it does.
Yes.
Whenever you see online some video of like people singing a song together or whatever in what seems to be a Zoom call, post-production, those are recorded separately and edited together. They are not sung live
Yeah.
because the lag from Zoom or Hangouts or any of those things turns any song into that monstrosity. But happy birthday, James.
The Backstreet Boys, we are not.
And aren't we glad?
No,
Yes.
we are the heroes of legend. So,
Right.
continuing our introductions, we have Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric Copperbeard.
I don't sing unless I'm drunk. Somebody get me a beer.
Vivid Muse as Amethyst.
Hey, y'all. Happy birthday, James.
And thankfully returning, Jadzia Axelrod as Mugen the Magnificent.
What's up, party people?
All right.
Hey, that's my line.
So, let's talk a little bit about what happened last time. Well, 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of discussion about possible plans for the future and what you're going to focus on next and what you feel like you still need to accomplish. And there was some discussion of trying to find a way to be sure that Jinxie cannot deceive you again. If she were to come after you again, you need a way to detect her in advance so she can't get up to her old mischief. And Mugen promptly said that he had a way to do that and then disappeared. So, waiting on more information about that, the rest of you decided to move on to some other things on the list. First, you conjured a gate, Nira did, and summoned Pishwish to your current location, rather than have to go back to the Abyss and re-involve yourself in the fight with the Cybriacs. And you found, once you restarted his personal time and regrew his heart, you found a relatively healthy Eladrin who has the nagging suspicion that something happened to him for the last 100 years. But you all encouraged him to maybe not think too hard about it for now. That's maybe a later conversation. But he seems to be in relatively good spirits for the moment because he does not remember that he has spent the last 100 years being tortured by demons in the Abyss. So, worked out, at least for the moment. But you also decided to track down Melicanth, and not the young Melicanth that you see in the Returned Stolen Moment, but the Melicanth that had traveled with you all this time and that had been put in prison by the forces of pure law, a prison in the plane of Mechanus. And you tracked her down. You worked your way in to locate her, found her, and discovered that she has her skin is covered with these strange glowing purple lines that very much resemble the fissures that you have previously encountered. And when you woke her up, she at first didn't seem to remember anything about encountering you. She seemed to have at least confused memories, and then once she saw these lines on her face and her hands and everything, she promptly fainted, which is right when Mugen poofs back into your presence.
Poof! Are we going? We're going. All right.
Yeah.
Poof! All right. I'm all set. What's going on?
You made her faint, man.
Well, I have that effect on people. I've heard referred to it as religious awe. That's probably
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Don't tell Lark that.
Yeah. Melicanth is lying unconscious on the floor right now, and the lines on her face are like flaring.
She does not look good, you guys.
No, she does not.
What'd you do to her?
Should we try to heal her? Or
Found her
does
like-
anybody know how to check
Oh,
to see if she's okay?
I think if we get her out of here, we can just leave. There's nothing else keeping us here, right? We can just leave and then like walk away from her, and she would be frozen in time. And this would not progress until we can figure out what to do.
Okay, but what are we going to do with her? Just leave her here? Or are we taking her
No,
with
take her with
us?
us. We could just leave.
Where are we going to take her, though? I mean, what if we need her when we go to the demon thing?
we
She's
should at least
already
take her
there.
someplace where she'll be safe if everything starts up again.
I know,
Yeah.
but what if we need both of
Okay,
her
if we're
to
gonna
be
talk,
there?
we need to get away from her so that like her time stops
She
again.
she sits bolt upright with a gasp, and then looks over at you with wide-eyed horror and just says, "Nira, Alaric, you have to put it back." And she's like crawling over to like claw at your feet because she seems to lack the strength to stand. She's just saying, "You have to put it back. You have to put it back."
I'll
what
give her a
back?
hand to
What?
stand up.
Okay, plane shift, though.
Yeah, she seems like you like take a look at her. She's obviously talking about something, but she does not seem really fully like present to you. She's not reacting to what you're doing or saying.
Okay, I can't take all of us with one plane shift spell. I don't think. Can I? Because we've got Pishwish and Melicanth. So one,
Oh, how many are we then?
two,
Good
three,
gosh.
Yeah.
5, 6.
11.
Oh wait, maybe I can. Me and 8 other creatures, so that's exactly enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
enough.
All right. So everybody, grab hold.
Hold where are we going?
kittens.
We're gonna go back to the tree.
Okay.
I'm gonna help Melicanth
Right.
through her
Wait,
feet.
tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tree.
She does.
You take Melicanth's hand and you realize that her skin feels kind of clammy, except for where the fissure is, which is hot.
Here we go. I'm gonna cast plane shift
All
and
right.
take a look to Emerald Ouroboros.
Okay. Yeah, so you all feel the familiar magics of the plane shift overtake you, and you are, rocketed across the plains to the familiar location of the tree temple in Emerald Arboris. And Melicanth seems to have passed out again.
Of course she has.
Prop her up against the tree.
Put it back. Put what back? Where?
Put
What?
some sunglasses on her and the
She's
Hawaiian
still-
shirt.
It's said.
Melaburnie.
Yes.
Should we try
Weekend
to?
at Melicanth.
Should we try to heal her? Is that what we do, Nirikina?
I can cast a spell magic, but I don't know if it will it will it
This
help.
kind of magic is something
It's
else.
beyond that.
Yeah, I would.
Back.
I would
Maybe
try
something
every
easy.
kind. So
I have my cleansing touch, which
I mean, what you got to lose, right?
Right.
yeah. So I would try to use a cleansing touch.
Okay.
What all it says is remove a spell.
Yeah.
But-
Go ahead. You use your cleansing touch, and you feel sort of the magic, try to permeate this woman's body and do what it can, but make a charisma check because it's your spellcasting modifier.
Right on. Rolled into a box. Okay. Try another die. 5 plus 5, 20. 15 plus 5, I should say.
You have the weird sensation of it's a little bit like if you go to pour some water into a bucket, but only then afterwards realize that the bucket doesn't have a bottom in it and all the water just went right through. So you feel like the magic go out, but it feels like it doesn't stay in the woman in front of you. It feels like it just goes through her to something else.
It's like
She is
she's untethered. Or...
She still seems unconscious, but she's kind of thrashing back and forth like she's having a bad dream, and she is saying, "Talia, no."
I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions on her.
Okay.
See what happens.
Is that a saving throw?
Hold on. Pulling it up. Yes. 19. Charisma.
Charisma. Oh. Rolled a natural 20, but which in this particular circumstance is bad for you because you won't not succeed,
Yeah.
so not resist the spell. But you do recall that she in particular had sort of like she does things to herself to make her less vulnerable to that kind of spell.
Right.
Amethyst is going to cast a spell magic at level 5.
Okay.
Let's see if it does anything.
You cast the spell and make a spellcasting ability modifier, so a wisdom check.
The grandbaby moved my dice. Okay. Ooh, natural 20.
Wow. Okay.
So my spell attack bonus is that's what I
No,
had. So
no.
that would make it a.
just wisdom. So it would probably your wisdom modifier is.
Okay, so it makes it 24.
Okay. So you feel the magic sort of fade, and you see like the light flaring through these lines on her skin dim. They don't go away, but they seem to be at least temporarily suppressed. And she opens her eyes and looks around at all of you, and you see recognition there this time. And she looks up at all of you and just says, I don't understand what's happening. I'm experiencing things that can't be real. Where am I? What is happening?
Well, you're currently in Emerald Arboris. We just sprung you from prison. Time is stopped, and you're kind of in two places at once, sort of.
Not kind of. You're actually in two places.
Yeah. So when you say that, there's a moment where her eyes just kind of go wide, and she just stares for a second. Well, yeah, I think that actually makes some sense. So Emerald Arboris, but this isn't the astral plane, is it?
We sort of put it back.
It has been restored.
And the stolen moment returned. Is that's the other me, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Still there.
I have
sort of everywhere.
I have to confess that I had a plan to modify the spell to return the stolen moment wherein I would take the place of my younger duplicate. I mostly wanted to avoid this particular circumstance because I had no idea what would happen, and turns out it's not great.
On the plus side,
I unfurl my wings. Surprise, bitch!
but on the plus
Really?
side, now you know what would happen. Knowledge gained.
Yes, yes,
Knowledge.
which I will be much happier about once we have a solution to the problem. Someone dispelled it, yes? Is that what's happening right now? I see these effects. They came on gradually, but
Yeah.
you see her looking around too. Is like everyone's out of the amber, but they're still frozen.
I did mention that time was stopped.
Well,
It's a lot. I get it. Don't.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Are you in pain? Is there anything we can do for that in the immediate?
not now, but I sense that the magic has only been temporarily suppressed. I don't think it's fixed, just momentarily alleviated. I'm so grateful that you all are here. I don't know what to do.
Do you think that we need to take you with us when we go? Or
Where?
should we just... We're going to fix everything.
We're going back to the moment, and it looks like past you still has it.
But that's a little fuzzy too. We're not really sure what. We haven't been down there yet. I'm more
We've kind
concerned.
of
Some might
avoided
say
it.
we're
Is
avoiding
this,
it.
is this a stable condition for you to remain in?
I don't think so. Although,
What can we do?
if I was stopped along with everything else with the time, but
Correct.
but you're unaffected, and that's why I'm currently unaffected. I think that if I were to be refrozen, that it would at least not continue to
Progress.
get
yeah.
worse, but I at the same time, if I can help and we can solve the problem, I would rather do that than just be frozen if I can help. I know that my original plan had been to take my duplicate's place, to be there in my current state, although now the intended timing of that was when it was placed, but perhaps that can still be done. I have to acknowledge the possibility also that what would happen is that we would simply cancel each other out. It's also possible that I would be the one to disappear, leaving only her. I don't know. But
Well, at least you're not stuck in that box anymore. So there's that.
yes, that was not ideal. They were not cruel, except in their utter indifference to anything I had to say or think or feel. They considered me an enemy to the order as they saw it. Will they be coming after me?
No.
Unlikely.
I mean, not while time is stopped.
Yeah.
Okay,
From our
so-
understanding, they've been kind of
Dealt with.
expelled and they aren't really watching anymore.
Well, at least the leaders were.
Inexorables have been. We have removed the multiple planes from their interference. I guess is what you say. They're no longer in play. Is that correct? Am I getting that right?
Yeah,
the
Ken can
impression I got.
confirm that. It's a little bit. I would imagine for everyone, it still feels a little bit like you wouldn't normally look to Ket for that sort of thing, except that he's the one that has been granted absolute perfect knowledge of exactly that. So,
What you want, man? What you want? I got it.
I think
Even a stop
Melicanth
clock is right twice a day.
Melicanth takes a moment, and she seems like she's going through some sort of like a mantra, like in her head, and then she looks a little bit calmer and says, I don't think that I'm stable for very long. If we are going right now to where that is, then maybe I can help. But if there's other things that must be done first, I'm not sure I can wait. And if that's the case, it might be better to freeze me again.
Before we do that, though, there are some other things that we need to do. But before we do that, you had said something to me in Alaric. You said we had to put it back. What do you have any idea what you were talking about?
I can't be too sure. My state of mind before the magic was dispelled, I was experiencing a lot of different things all at once, and it was like a bad dream. I know that the stolen moment figured prominently, but it sounds as though it's back already. I'm sorry, I don't know. It made sense at the time, but now it feels like it was a nightmare.
Oh, I have been there.
Oh, Mugen!
Yeah. Hi.
It's been a while.
It has.
You look good.
Thanks. You look horrible. We really need to do something.
Yes.
But given the circumstances, your hair is looking very full.
Oh,
They
thank
give you a conditioner in jail?
Well, I not as such, but there's not any like wind, and it's very low humidity. But
That would make sense then. Yeah, now I get it.
so she's like looking around a bit more, and she just Pishwish, and he's like, I don't remember you. And she, I think at this point, just kind of puts her hand on her cheek and just looks up at all of you and says, all of this requires a much longer conversation that I don't think we actually have time for right now.
Yeah. We've
Yeah,
been busy.
no, that's true.
But thank you all for rescuing me. And I have to say, it seems like making substantial progress towards saving the universe.
Well, you know, all in a
We've
day's
got a-
work.
We've got a list.
You zig, you zag.
We get there eventually.
Oil
Well.
come over, you know.
So, what's next?
Let's consult the list, shall we?
Oh, right. We had talked about dealing with Jinxie, right?
Mm-hmm. And now that you're back, we can do that.
If that's what you guys want to do next. I don't know. What's on the list? I know it's interminable.
Well,
I think Melicanth
We pared it down a bit.
Oh.
But we think that Melicanth is just going to be safe here, though, that we can leave and do what we need to do, and she'll be
Yeah.
safe. We all agree
She'll
that, right?
freeze again, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
So I just wanted to reassure Melicanth of that this is a safe place for her. Like, this isn't like a truck stop, you know? This is like...
I appreciate it. I have to say, seeing the tree that I had heard only in myth, and then we found just an empty crater, but to see it returned is incredible.
Pretty cool.
When we go, you'll be frozen. And if things go right, or if they go wrong, I guess, for that matter, time will move again. We may or may not be able to
Probably.
get back before it does. So if you find yourself here, there are friends here. There's a monk, Shadow of the Star. Is that his name, Cadence?
Shadow of a Star, yeah.
Yeah, look for him. He'll understand better than anyone else here what's going on. No matter what tale you tell him, I think he'd understand if you just mention us. He'd get the gist of it anyway. Just so that you know, you've got friends here, or they're friendly people here.
You know, it's really been a long time since I've felt that way.
Yeah. Kind of always sensed that. You've had a rough time of it. But we're trying to make everything right.
And if it makes you feel any better, Zorath's frozen too.
Well, that seems helpful at least. I have so many questions about the wings, Cat, but we still don't have time.
I kind of like, just the wings?
True polymorph. Do you know true polymorph?
I do, yes. Now I'm
Not
a beautiful,
anymore.
beautiful bastion of a planetar.
Wow.
You don't know true polymorph anymore. Don't lie.
Well, you be quiet. It's all semantics, kid. Be quiet. I can if I want to. I don't in this form, but in my other form, I know it. And if I want to go back to my other form, I can, and then know it. So, I do. Yeah.
That's the important part.
It's all up here, baby.
That's all that matters.
So the you see Melicanth's eyes kind of flutter a little bit, and you see like the light of these lines starting to flare up just a little bit again.
We're going to have to leave her now.
Yeah.
Get comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to head out.
Well, whatever's going to happen, I'm glad it's here and not there.
We
We'll try
got
to
you.
fix this.
She kind of basically takes just like a meditation trance sort of seated posture.
Go and walk away.
Yeah. One of these days, they're just going to vogue.
As we're walking away, I just look at Amethyst and I'm like, what's a truck stop?
I thought I was going to get away with that for a minute.
No, it's a truck. There's like those hand carts that you pull behind you, a truck, and then a stop is that wooden wedge you put underneath the wheel to keep it from sliding away after you put it down. A truck stop.
Obviously. Everybody knows
Yeah,
that.
Yes.
Seems
See?
legit. Yeah.
It totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
but it really just doesn't fit into that whole thing that you. Never mind.
You know me, always mixing up my words.
It's probably
All right.
a tree thing.
So Jinxie, right?
Jinxie, eh?
Jinxie, right? Yeah. So, guys, check out these beauties. And Mugen reaches into his robe and pulls out a handful of 7 beautifully polished river stones. It's like, check this out, right? These are from a very special and very exclusive spa for the spirits. Huh? Cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
here's the deal. These are from the gateway, or the gate garden that you enter in. And they have a special soap, right? That if you cross them, they will paint you with this soap, and then the stones glow in your presence. You cannot wash off this soap. You are tagged. I know this because one of the monks back in Huli Jing's order totally had this happen because they don't allow mortals in there. So he was definitely soaped up. But here's the thing. Time is stopped over there. we can just sneak in and get this note. No problem.
So
Wow.
one tiny little problem with that, and I don't know, maybe it'll work. But in my scrying, what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Christiana, but I believe the entity we know as Jinxie was still kind of this non-corporeal swirling mass.
Yeah, it was kind of like a whirlwind that was sort of gathering up material and sort of trying to form a more solid core. But
Oh.
that's an ongoing process.
And that's even better. We don't even have to wash her then. We can just throw the soap into this swirling mass.
Oh, hey.
Okay, so
That's
long
a
as
relief.
that's
Yeah.
not an issue.
Yeah.
Just
And
wanted
so
to
she comes
mention it.
anywhere
We
near
still
these
gotta go get the
stones.
soap though. I tried to get it myself alone and couldn't. So
Oh.
I need
Why
your guys' help.
not? Why
Sounds
couldn't you
fun.
get the soap?
Well, I mean, I like to pride myself as a loner. You guys know that. But here I am being vulnerable and saying I may need some help. Because, like, you guys have been messing with this whole time stop business a lot more than I do. And, like, it's a full spa right now. There's spirits everywhere. And I was really worried about getting too close to one. But you guys, granted, there's more of us, so maybe it would be, like, easier to get too close to one. I don't know. But I feel like I need your collective time stop knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got it down pretty well now.
Well, and I think we learned what happens when you send a cleric to do a thief's job. So
Boy, didn't we?
maybe the reverse is also true.
I think so.
All right, so where do we start? Where do we go?
Well, we got to go to the spa. We've got to sneak in the spa without waking anybody out of time. And we got to find where they have the soap, which I don't know, honestly. This last time that I was just there, first time I've ever been there, it's beautiful. Definitely want to go back, but I don't know the layout.
So is this place dangerous?
I mean, everybody's time stopped, and I mean, you would probably find it dangerous since it looks like everyone's having a good time, and more relaxed. But I
As long
think
as
the
it's not
rest of us.
contagious.
What, Mark?
As long as it's not contagious, it shouldn't be too bad. Some places are
You
like
never
that.
know. We might get in there, and you might come out with a mani-pedi. Who knows?
I don't even know what that is, but I'm not going to ask. I'll need some time then to change out of my armor. If we're not going to be fighting, I don't want to be burdened with it.
Oh, I'm sure we're not going to be fighting.
Famous last word.
Burden.
Well,
I'm just. I will
Armor
just
of
say
burden.
that I have used quite a few spells at this point. So
So you
Um,
think we should take a nap before we go? I mean, it has been quite a while since we took a little nap.
I mean, if you guys want to rest up before going to a relaxing spa, that's fair.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to be there to relax.
I don't think there's going to be anything relaxing about this.
Oh, it's going to be super relaxing now just because you said that.
So, Mugen, Alaric mentioning taking off his armor did remind you of one of the other things that probably is going to be necessary to get everybody in.
Oh, let me look at that note because I've forgotten.
Well, I'll just say what Mugen knows and tells you all is that there's different layers of security designed to keep mortals out, and some of them are just, spirits noticing, and they're good at that. But some of them are actually specific magical wards that are going to detect the presence of any metal and anything that's a weapon. and it wouldn't hurt you. You just can't get in with it.
Right.
It won't cross
So-
the threshold.
Now, here's the thing. That wasn't even put in to keep people from weapons. They are just racist against metal spirits. Doesn't matter. The result's the same. You can't go in with any weaponry. Or armor. Or jewelry, really.
Wow.
Gotta leave it all at home. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I mean,
I
you
got
could
this.
leave it all in a
Oh,
pile
man.
outside the door.
Yeah, you may want to get rid of that tooth.
Well, the armor.
I mean, if
is-
that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
The armor is just something I'm not used to. If we're looking at sneaking and hiding, it's going to be a problem. It makes too much noise.
You do remember we're time stopped, right?
Yeah, but you just mentioned there might be something triggered by us being there, so still got to sneak around.
Anyway, just don't wear any metal. I think this. I thought I was clear.
So
Alright.
I'd be okay
Easy
with
for a
it.
druid.
There's one thing that I'm not too keen to give up, and you see she's fingering the holy symbol that she wears. Like,
Sure.
that doesn't ever come off ever.
Can you like transmute that just temporarily to wood or something?
That's not a skill I have. I don't.
Does someone? Do I? I might have that. Hold on. God powers, you know.
There are
Maybe
spells
it
that
won't
do that.
do that.
Could you put it in your haversack and then, you know,
I
it'll be with
think
us, but-
that I think, Nira, what you know is that even if you don't have the ability to transmute that one,
I could.
it's
Make
the
something new?
symbol is the thing, right? Like you really like that one, but you could have something made to be a symbol, right? It doesn't, and it could be, you could make a new one. You don't have to, like it doesn't have to be that one necessarily.
So I'm gonna look at Amethyst. I was like, is there any way you could maybe, I don't know, do some vine magic druid thing and shape something similar to this for me? maybe?
Absolutely. Right, Christiana?
Yeah.
It's along the lines of what we've talked about in the past that Amethyst was going to
Well,
do.
so like this is a perfect example of something where like you guys are level 20. Can you do that? Yeah. Yes. You can do that. It's fine. So you can essentially sort of like just you're kind of just druid craft a couple of little branches together and sort of just focus on them and have them kind of grow to resemble the symbol on Nira's holy symbol.
Knowing how much it means to
Sweet.
Nira to leave behind the one that she has, Amethyst would take a little time while they're talking and try to find a really nice piece, something that she could have in the future too. And so she would spend a little more time on it than just that, but that would also give her time not having to deal with the conversation
other
stuff
thing
that
that
always
it
takes
could-
forever.
It could incorporate is precious stones like gems. Like
Well,
those
I was
are not
going to
metal.
look for amber. Do we have any
Yeah.
amber left from the tree?
Yeah, there's amber around. A lot
Like
of it kind
around,
of flaked
right?
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of like swept it up into big piles like
Yeah.
after a snowstorm.
She would definitely get some amber to put on a part of it, but because gems were mentioned, weren't they? Were gems mentioned?
I
Nope,
mentioned
it's
gems.
metal.
Just metal. Okay, I misheard then. I thought
Yeah.
we were going to have to leave gemstones behind too. Cool,
No.
cool, yeah.
Gemstones are okay.
Okay.
Like anything
She's
that's
making it real
basically
pretty.
comes from, the natural world as opposed to like worked metal. Like you suspect that if you had a lump of iron ore right out of the ground, that would probably go through, but not something like refined and worked.
But we don't want to trust that out.
No. So she just takes a nice little design and puts amber in it, and she does her little woobity joobity and makes it twine with vines and really pretty leaves, and think like Rivendell elves kind of looking thing. Not that
Yeah.
Rivendell is a thing, but out of character, I will say that.
Sure.
That's what I
It's
would.
right by the truck stop. It's a place where-
I have a problem, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Now I'm just imagining Rivendell as a truck stop.
It
Best truck
essentially
stop
is.
ever.
Yeah.
It
Right?
actually is, though. Yeah.
Gosh. My imagination is going so many places with that, but there's no time. Unless you guys just want that to be the campaign now.
I'm all about
Right.
that.
That could be our next campaign. We start out at the Rivendell truck stop.
Yeah.
Now it's crossing over with Riverdale for me, and I'm getting really confused.
Oh my gosh. You got a bunch of elves there with Archie? Yeah, let's do it.
Or we could go to
Um,
this bathhouse for spirits.
Yeah, that sounds
I
good.
I won't be carrying the axe, but it'll still be a part of me. Do you think that's going to bother it, Mugen?
I think that's an I don't know. That's because that's where you're
Yeah.
getting complicated magic interacting with each other. That
Let me see. I mean, when you aren't using it, it's not around, right?
Right.
But then you conjure it, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think as long as it's not like with us, we're cool. So don't bring it out. That would be interesting to see what would happen if you did bring it out while you're in the middle of the bathhouse. Like, would you be thrown out immediately? These are good questions.
Something tells me we'll find out before this is over.
I mean, only if you draw it, which hopefully you won't need to. I think if you don't draw it, it's not here, right? Like, it's not here. It's not here. It's not here.
All right, then.
So we said no armor, but does that just mean metal armor?
Right.
Yeah.
If you have, like,
right,
some-
no metal and no weapons.
Right. So the bullet hide would still be fine.
The studded leather, it's the metal studs, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless it's specifically studs made from something else. There are kinds of studded leather that say that, but
Made from wood.
Archie'd probably be halfway done stripping all his armor off. I don't know. Do you think we can keep him in the bag? Yeah. Bag of holding because it's not really here. It's
Be like the
Here,
ham or
not
the axe, right? It's not really there.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna
and
try
really,
that.
like, this stuff. If we leave the bags of holding somewhere, everything is stopped. Nobody's going to take them.
Yeah.
I
I feel uncomfortable about
guess.
taking the bag of holding just
Yeah.
in case.
Yeah.
Because, like, all right. I
think
would
we should leave it
say,
here.
yeah.
Or
I
maybe
would
some
say
of us
that
can stay behind and watch over the stuff while the rest of us are gone.
Malakanth is here.
She can't really.
Like,
Pishwish raises his hand and says, I could stay and watch, except that I guess I would be frozen along with everything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably just as likely to be
Here's-
taking as any of the stuff.
Everything, it'll be
Here-
fine. Everything's fine.
Here's the thing, though. Yeah, we're the only people unfrozen except for Solomonia.
It's true.
So, I mean, if
I
she's
wonder if she can wake
unfrozen,
people up.
who knows?
You know, when you put it that way, I do think I am perhaps more comfortable with all of you.
Fair point.
Just saying. I mean, unless somebody wants to stay here, you know,
Surely
keep an
we
eye
have
on
a-
Melicanth and the tree. I mean,
Surely we have a storage locker that we can put our stuff in here, right? Like, we're not worried about our stuff not being safe while we're away from here.
Except the
No,
Rivendell
but,
truck stop, of
I
course. It's
mean-
key operated.
All right. So to add another out of universe reference, you know that bit in Rogue One where they hand the pack to the droid and he just kind of looks down at it and just dumps it on the ground.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But up to you all.
I mean, I don't know. Do we want somebody to stay here? I mean, honestly, I don't mind staying here.
Listen, I got a safe.
It'll be fine.
If you guys are worried, I got a safe space up in Hooly Jing's old place. I can just pop everything up there and then pop it back when we're done. If you guys are really worried.
I'm not.
I'd rather be
Yeah.
somewhere where any of us can get to.
Fair enough. Just offer.
I think we should just leave it here and just
Yeah.
like be done with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that complicated.
It's not.
Well,
The
we'll be
alternative
the one
is-
who tries to take it.
Alaric, well, like, since you're having to leave behind so many things, would you like to stay here and guard it and Malakanth? Or do you want to stay? Because that's kind of where we're at right now, is deciding
Well.
what you're comfortable with.
I mean, I'm probably more comfortable here than at a spa.
I mean,
Given
honestly, I don't
that-
feel good leaving the Seeker here. I mean, the Seeker is an entity that, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, can't we just prop it up outside the door and walk in and then come back out and all the stuff is still there?
I mean, there is an outside of this place. You know, Mugen, that when you arrive, essentially you arrive at a doorway, and it is that threshold that you can't cross. But
Right.
there's a spot
Yeah.
right outside that you could leave stuff.
I mean, we're not going to be poofing right in the waiting room. There is a door. We just got to be not have the stuff with us when we try to open the door. That's all. We can leave it right outside the door.
No, I can wait there.
Oh, come
Okay.
on, Chuckles.
I don't think you'd rather me be in there anyway.
Okay.
I just don't want to split the party.
Well,
I think we're thinking about this way too much.
yeah,
I
Maybe.
think it'll be fine, Alaric.
way too much. So are we napping before we go, or are we just going?
Yeah. I think this is a
I
very good idea.
unless you have business that you want to attend to, I will clock wipe, and you have had a rest.
There's one thing that I wanted to look into.
Okay,
Just one.
sure.
So I was trying to think what Nira and Alaric might have in common that they would have to put back. And it occurs to me that they do share something in common. So in my meditations, as we're having our rest, I am going to sort of reach out to see if perhaps Nira is not the only one that has a piece of Rushama.
Oh. I mean, I'm trying to think.
Because I mean, I can hear his prayers, so like I don't know if that connection goes the other way.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I would have you roll for it if I felt like the outcome was in question. But I feel like, although I want to encourage this line of thinking in general, I feel like when you reach out, you do, like, you don't sense anybody else, but I think that you. Yeah, so I'm not going to have you roll for anything. I don't think you're able to sense anyone else in the universe right now that has a piece of Rashama in them.
Alright. Yeah, just like I was looking for any kind of connection, there might be, but yeah. That was it. That was all I was looking for.
I would like to, as everybody's like moving off to go take their little nap, I kind of want to pull Alaric aside. And I'm just going to be like, Alaric, lesson number 1. You don't know everything. See, when you know everything, it makes you so unhappy. So just let that go. Like, you can't go into everything knowing. Just let it go.
I don't know what you mean.
I know you don't, but you will. Just remember that. Next time, when we're going into a situation and you know what's going to happen, just stop. Because you don't know. We never know. And that is making you super unhappy.
But you just said that I knew when I was going into the
No,
situation.
but you don't. That's the thing. Like, you think that you know. You think that you know exactly what's going to happen in every situation that we go into. And like 82% of the time, you're not usually right. Like, we have no idea what's happening ever. So if you go into situations not expecting the worst, you're going to be so much happier. I promise you.
But if you
I
don't
promise.
try to get ready for the worst, it's going to happen to you.
Okay, but maybe sometimes you could get ready for the best.
Well, you don't have to do anything if the best happens. It just happens. You don't
But
have
if
to
you're
prepare
like-
for that.
Okay, see, there's this weird thing. Like when I was growing up and I was with the monks all the time, they used to talk about this law of attraction, that the more you think about something, the more you attract it into your life. So if you're thinking about all this negative stuff that's going to happen all the time, maybe you're making it happen. Just think about that for a
That's
little
kind of
while.
ridiculous.
Just
I'm not
think
that
about
powerful. No one is.
Just
Well, maybe
think
some of the
about
gods
it.
are.
Maybe you're a god. You don't even know. See, you don't know if you're a god or not, but you're already saying you're not. So just think about that for a little while before you go to sleep. And then she just turns around and walks away.
These people are even stranger than I thought.
All right.
And he'll sit and ponder that for an hour or two.
So, everyone is able to get whatever rest that you need, or if you feel like your character would sit up and not sleep, then that's okay too. But the time passes, and you are now rested if you rested. And Mugen, you know that it is Hu Jing's power that essentially gives you the ease of travel to this spirit realm. And it's something you can bring them along, but it probably is impossible as they are now for them to do it by themselves. So they really do need to stay with you, ideally in physical contact. So like literally like everyone holding hands.
Like to get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But once we're there, we don't have to keep holding hands.
No, yeah, that's just it's the travel part.
Oh, thank
Because
God.
essentially what it is you are navigating through this divine instinct that tells you how to get where you're going. If they were to get separated from you, they could be lost and end up anywhere.
Right.
That's the concern. So,
Are we ready? Everybody have a nice breakfast. We had a good nap. We're set.
yeah, I think Mugen, you
Yep.
like for what everyone else sees, as opposed to the times where Mugen seemed to just kind of vanish when you were blinking or looking away. At this point, Mugen, I think with a big flourish, you appear to draw back a curtain that wasn't there, revealing what looks like a narrow tunnel draped with silk scarves of various colors that you have to kind of push through.
All right. So this is not. How do I put this? This is not easy for me to do. So I can't look out for you guys while we travel. This means that we all have to be connected, and so I don't have to worry about losing you. So, everybody hold hands. Let's form a chain.
Okay.
Are we all locked in?
Just for fun, I would like to know the sequence.
Got it.
Because here's the thing, I can't look back once we get started. This is hard enough as it is. So everybody, don't let go.
So I'm not asking for a marching order because I'm about to ambush you, but for the mental picture, I would like to know what order are you in, because that dictates who's holding whose hand.
Yeah, who's got mine?
Me.
I got cadence.
Well, if that's she was going to try and get closer to Cadence, but she'll get on the other side of Archie then.
You can hold on to my tail.
I'll
People will
grab
talk.
I'll grab on to Amethyst and then offer Alaric my hand.
I'll grab the hand.
All right.
No, a little nervously.
So,
All right. Oh, also, everybody hold your breath.
Okay.
Let's
how
go.
long?
Until we're there.
Yeah.
This is a spirit road, okay? There's no air there. Here we go. Whoosh. And so we go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Everybody holding our breath.
Right. So it's not too long. Like, no one is at the point of desperation in their held breath or anything, but you're passing through this twisty, narrow corridor draped with these scarves. Like I said, these sort of silk curtains that, like, you keep having to, navigate through, which means that you really can't see more than 5 or 6 feet ahead of you at any time. And you're navigating past several intersections that are, seemingly interchangeable to you, but Mugen is confidently guiding you in specific directions. And it's not too far before you find yourself emerging from this little tunnel in what seems to be a sort of a beautiful grassy meadow that nonetheless has a sort of dreamlike quality to it. And before you is a big ornate doorway and a larger building behind it. And I'm going to go ahead and take us to the map. So,
Yay, the map.
yeah. And so here you are on the map, and you are now just outside the threshold of this place.
Is the map supposed to be really dark?
All of it except the bottom where you guys are.
Okay, I can't. I have to stretch my window. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't see it.
Yeah, I
because of the
couldn't
bar at
see
the
anything
bottom.
because of the bar.
Technically, all of
Oh.
our portraits are covering it, which is also us. So technically, we
Yeah,
are on the
it's
map.
fine. It
Okay.
works perfectly.
Okay, hang on. So,
It's
yeah.
all good. It's all
If
good.
Yeah,
you
it's
change
fine.
the proportions of your window, you should be able to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the parts that you can't see yet are blacked out. But yes,
This
this
is
like
is
a
the
place.
threshold.
Can we breathe yet?
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, thank God.
Hey, we made it! Everybody's here! Oh, that's so... Whew, I'm
Should
relieved.
we
Good job,
should we make
Megan.
one of the tuning forks just in case we need to get back? Does that even
Well,
work here?
it's
Do we need to come back here?
we can't take tuning forks in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
unless you have a
I
wooden
didn't-
tuning fork.
No.
think that works.
Unfortunately, it has to be gold.
The other thing is that this is the spirit realm, which is also sometimes known as the ethereal plane. And the idea of a location in this plane is a little bit different than most of the other planes, because the ethereal plane kind of overlaps and coincides with the material plane. And that's kind of where, the spirits are, and occasionally, intersect with the material plane. And here they have physical form in a way that they don't in the material plane. But it's also like, the idea of a place in it is a little bit different because it sort of overlaps with a place in the material plane.
Well, I don't understand all that, Amethyst. All you had to say was no.
I'm just trying to explain, man. It's what you sound like, by the way.
How? I never know anything, apparently.
All right.
No one does.
Oh,
So-
truer words
so
were
we
never
did-
spoken. So
No.
let's...
Not unload back at Emirate Arboris. Did we leave all our stuff there, or
No, we
I
have it
think
with
you
us.
talked
We're
about
leaving
leaving
it
it
outside.
here, essentially.
alrighty?
All right.
Start
Everybody
taking
remember
off
where we
rings
parked.
and all the anything shiny.
All right, so you divest yourself of all the weapons and metal objects, and I'm just going to assume that no one is like trying to get away with something.
No.
No, man, I'm new.
No.
All right, so and then you move to head inside. So let me reveal the the threshold.
We walk past a Zen garden, though, right? With
Not
the
yet.
stones?
It's in here. It's in here.
Okay.
So as you
I see.
look through the threshold, you see that there is what seems to be a reception desk with what looks like a hanging sort of paper lantern, the size, like 4 or 5 feet across, just sort of hovering behind what looks like a wooden reception desk. And behind that is this little Zen garden, and you can see that there are a number of these little smooth wooden, not wooden, but smooth river stones in it. And you can see that there's little platforms to the left and right, which go into identical doors that seem to lead beyond. And those of you who in your character would have any idea what a bathhouse is would guess that that's probably like the men's and women's side of the thing, except that it's a spirit one. So how they decide is, anyone's
Up
guess.
to them.
Yeah. It is, there are 2 entrances, and if there's any indication of which one means what, you can't tell.
Okay. So, who wants to go on the right and who wants to go on the left?
We're just looking for soap, right?
Well, the special soap. It's
What does it
You
look
mean-
like though? Like if we split up, then we won't maybe know.
I thought you knew this place.
I mean, I didn't.
Yeah. So Mugen, you had been through the sort of dressing room area and
Yeah.
just caught a glimpse of the interior.
Did I go right or left?
You tell me.
I went right.
Okay.
Well, I went that way, and it's. I imagine it's the same on the other side. I'm not exactly sure what soap we're looking for, because I haven't used the soap that we're looking for.
You kind of know what the after effects of it
Yeah.
look like,
Well, no.
or
Here's why I gave you all the stones, guys. As I hand out the stones, when these glow near it, that's the soap. If they don't glow near soap,
Ah, yeah.
that's just regular soap, ain't it?
Oh,
So I've revealed on the map what Mugen would have seen going through that
Right.
area.
So there's a crab guy over there. Don't get too close. And I'm assuming he's still there because time has stopped. It's a bathhouse. Who hasn't been to a bathhouse?
I mean, not really.
I have.
With you people.
I prefer ponds.
I've been to a few bathhouses in my day.
Yeah.
They have one in Farusha. It's very nice, but probably nothing like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
maybe not.
I think if you peek through the door there that Mugen refers to, you do see that there's this. It's kind of like a dressing room, and it's got some little like tubs and everything. That it's basically you're intended to sort of do like a pre-wash before you would go and soak in the nice tubs, that sort of thing.
Yeah. There's some hot springs in the back, but I didn't get back that far.
I'm gonna go and peek in the door on the left
Okay.
just to see what's over there.
And so you look through and you see basically an otherwise identical mirror imaged sort of dressing room, washing room area with a couple of other spirits in there that do seem to be time stopped.
Well, I feel like they take up a little less space, so there might be more room to maneuver. Although with spirits, it's like that's kind of tricky, isn't it? Like, do they really take up physical space?
Well, see, that's actually
Well-
the interesting thing about being here in the ethereal plane is that they actually are more physical than they are in the material plane. 'Cause
What
this
if?
is-
What if we're little teeny tiny animals? Like I could change us into flies or something, or
mean,
butterflies.
That would be cool. We could certainly maneuver a little better.
Oh, I've never tried anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
could we be like dragonflies?
Oh, totally.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Everybody in for dragonflies?
I'm down.
Nera, what do you think?
Weird, but sure.
I'm thinking.
She never likes
Let's
my
do it.
ideas.
No,
No,
I know
it's
how
not
you
that.
feel.
So fascinating.
We should have a support group.
Yeah. We'll give it a shot. My only concern would be that they would have something to detect. I don't know. it
Do
might
they have like
be war.
anti-magic stuff here?
No,
I
it's
don't
a
know.
spirit place. They wouldn't dare do anti-magic in a home for spirits. That no one would come.
Well, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Amethyst, you can go first.
I mean, I've been told not to say what the worst is that can happen, but I can list it off if you like.
How about you don't, though, Lard? How about we don't?
Yeah.
Fine.
How about you don't?
So Amethyst is going to change herself into a dragonfly and
Okay.
not change anybody else yet, and just test it out because
Okay.
it isn't fair to just make everybody try it. So,
Sure.
all right,
All right, I don't have a dragonfly, token.
that's understandable. Yeah,
But,
this is off the cuff.
So you're just kind of flying through one of the dressing rooms to kind of try to fly into the area? On the
Yeah,
other si- on the
she's
far
going to
side?
go left just because of the size, that
Okay.
thing that Nira mentioned, and she's going to try and see if going in there or through around, avoiding being as distant from them as possible.
So you get into that first little area, and then on the other side here, there is a door that's closed, but there's kind of a ventilation window above it that you're able to fly through. And because you are just flying around, I'll go ahead and just reveal the rest of the map, because you'd be just in there seeing everything. How about I do the tool that's reveal instead of put more dark on?
Oh my god, it's all green. Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Oh my god, there's
Ooh.
Mario mushrooms and Kirby's.
Party.
And, oh my
Who's
god.
Mario, man?
Yeah.
I love these critters.
So
Oh,
yeah,
the
so
attendant
that's
at the
kind of
Riverdale
what you
truck
see.
Y'all.
Initially, you do see that the air is full of these little pink floaty, flower blossoms coming from the trees. There's these various pools that seem to have a variety of spirits in them. Lots of these little tables near them seem to be set up with different kinds of refreshments and other sorts of, candles and incense and accoutrement and so on. There's a wide variety of bizarrely appearing spirits, some of which look a little bit more like understandable animal shapes to you, and others not as much. And what you see as you kind of fly a little bit more, first of all, you see that these trees are designed to separate the two sides. Not in a way that could.
Christiana, this is an amazing map. I'm just telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Incredible.
so let me briefly, just for a moment, take a step outside the narrative here and say that there is a Patreon named Zay and Peku, so it's CZE and PEKU, and they do incredible maps, and several of the really awesome maps that I've used recently come from that Patreon, so I
Nice.
recommend everyone check them out. This
So
is one of their
cool.
latest ones, so yeah. So they have just the background. I added the tokens and stuff.
Yeah.
But so and as you are sort of flying forward a little bit to see more, you realize that sort of at the back, the top of this area, this highest pool, there is this strange abstract shape that seems like it's probably a spirit, but it's just something like you can't even really process what it is. Like, it's just this sort of constantly transforming shape, and it's bigger than all of the others, and it's sort of in the prominent pool, so it seems like it's like a place of prominence. Yes, Prince Justin has linked in the chat this Patreon, so everyone check them out. They're awesome. But yeah, so flying around, this is what you see. Lots of spirits, lots of these pools. And you are able to fly in there and fly all around. You don't find any sort of a magical resistance. But as you are flying up and, taking in the sights of this big one up there, you do, it's not a voice, but there's a sort of vibration in the air that you detect with your dragonfly senses, just like the sorts of microscopic fluctuations in air that would, help the dragonfly navigate and avoid collisions with other things that might be flying around, including like predators or something like that. So it is that sense in which you detect the presence of something else that's not frozen. And through that sense, you're kind of flooded with an emotion of curiosity that you know is not yours.
That sounds fun. Okay. Well, if she's not compelled to do anything, then she'll fly back and report to everybody what she's seen.
All right. Poof.
Y'all, it's so pretty. Y'all are gonna love it. I didn't trigger anything. Nothing moved. Nothing weird. There's this thing. I don't know, and I'll explain what Christiana said. But y'all, it's really
Wait,
pretty.
there's
Dragonflies?
There's something here that's not frozen.
Oh.
Is that what you said, Christiana?
Yeah, whatever you felt like something from outside yourself. That was like you felt it like an emotion that was someone else's emotion in your head.
That complicates things a little bit.
But it's so pretty.
Maybe we should ask it then, rather than just stealing soap.
Yeah, maybe.
We got to.
I mean, it's possible it doesn't know that we're here, but it's more likely that it knows.
Yeah.
Mugen, do you know?
What?
Do you know what it might be? The
No,
presence?
I'm very surprised.
Mm.
Extremely.
Insight check.
Mugen,
Yeah,
don't
bring
even
it
try.
on.
Yeah.
Totes believe Mugen. Not
Roll
it.
those
Always
checks.
lying.
Do it.
Always lying.
Yeah, I don't think it'll matter. Yeah, I got like a 4, and I think plus 10.
What am I rolling for this?
Well, I mean,
It's been a while since
it
I
would
did
be
one of these.
either deception or persuasion, depending on whether you're telling the truth or not.
All right, great. So that's a 27.
Oh yeah, I absolutely believe every word you just said. Mugen would never lie to me. Come on,
Never.
never.
I'm very surprised that there is something not frozen in here. Huh.
Weird.
I did warn you about getting too close. Maybe you got too close to something.
It's possible.
Did you happen to see any soap?
Well, considering the size of the stone is probably
I mean,
significant to my body size.
Yeah.
When-
would
I
have
wasn't able to carry it.
disappeared.
usually when you wild shape, anything you're
Yeah.
carrying kind of melds into your form.
Yeah, I was joking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
may-
totally.
We may have to wander through not as dragonflies.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought too.
Yeah.
And if something is up and moving, I think maybe just approaching it as ourselves is, I don't know, honesty is the best policy? Not always, but sometimes.
Absolutely. Do you want to dragonfly to the other side of these creatures, or do you want to?
Nah.
Oh, that's the wrong ket. You have the wrong ket on there.
Oh, you're right. That's true. Let me fix
We need the
that.
big naked cat.
You need the buff cat.
That's what he looks like.
I mean,
in
the buff cat.
ethereal
Oh,
plane,
thank
that's all.
you for the reminder. I did have the wrong one on there.
Dr. Manhattan cat.
And of course, it's important to remember that he's big.
Right.
Cat big.
Cat big.
Ket big.
Get 10 foot tall, big. Show me what you've got.
What if we go through this beginning area as dragonflies just because it's slightly closer quarters?
That's literally what I said. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Because otherwise we have to risk interacting with these critters, and we don't have to. We don't have to.
Do I have to know how to fly? I've never really flown all that much.
Let's
And I've
find out. I
That's part of
don't
the
know.
fun.
I'm going to suggest a brief
Briefly.
retcon that Pishwish decided after all that a bathhouse for the spirits. He had concerns about that and didn't want to come.
Okay. That's fair.
Great. He has concerns. I'm not supposed to be afraid.
He's not a hero of legend. Be a hero of legend for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
He's got his own issues.
And he freezes if he's not near one of us. That gets tricky during battle. So it makes sense.
Fair enough.
Dragonflies, yay or nay?
Yay.
All right.
Why not?
Let's do it.
So you all poof is into dragonflies, and where do you go?
I'm going to take the same route that I took the first time, but I'm going to stop short once we get on the other side of... There wasn't anything right on the other side of the door, right? Was there? At the outside of the door?
No.
Okay. It's like, yeah, I would go somewhere where I know that we're going to have a clear path to, like, we wouldn't be in range of anything, and then that's where I'll stop.
Yeah, but definitely follow
let me
exactly
just,
where she led.
Just
I
moving
would
the
imagine that
tokens
Alara
up
is
there, even though you're in dragonfly
Flying kind of
form.
awkwardly around and occasionally flies into something because he came too close to a
Well,
light.
so
got blinded.
quick question. Remind me what spell you're casting here, Amethyst.
Animal shapes.
Animal shapes. So if I recall correctly from that spell, that's not like polymorph. So everyone can kind of think themselves. They don't have dragonfly brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they retain alignment, intelligence, wisdom, charisma.
Yeah. Just double checking
but
because
yeah.
dragonfly's not noted for their intelligence. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the thing is, though, that what happens immediately as you all exit the door there is you all hear a voice echo out across the bathhouse saying, "The little fox who doesn't belong has returned with friends."
Definitely awake.
Logan, I believed you so hard, though.
All right. So I
You guys are dragonflies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no talking until we change form. So Amethyst lands on the ground.
Yeah.
Do we have to wait for you to change us back?
Let me. I want to say,
I think so.
you guys. I think I do, but I think that we can continue to put you guys back in that maybe for 24 hours. But I had it open. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, it lasts 24 hours. I transform each target into the form of a large or smaller beast with a challenge rating of 4 lore.
So I
And
think
then I change on subsequent actions. Yeah, I transform.
Yeah,
them.
so
I would just.
Amethyst has to change you back, but she can do so whenever she wants.
Mm-hmm. And she does.
Okay, the first thing I say is, Logan, I believed you so hard, man.
I'm sure it's nothing.
It's powerful enough to be awake. That's something.
I'm all right, fair. And yes, I did come here before, obviously. And yes, I did look around. And yes, maybe I noticed that something was moving. And yes, I didn't want to face it myself without you guys around. And yes, I lied to you all. Yes, there. You happy?
No, I'm very sad now.
We would have come if you hadn't lied.
Yeah, I would have totally been like,
I know. I just was hoping that maybe it wouldn't be necessary.
So,
Necessary.
So
Get caught.
what is this thing?
I don't know. That's what's creeping me out.
It knows you though.
Well, just because I was here before, I guess. I don't know. It may know me. I haven't stopped to chat with it.
Yeah,
Well,
it didn't
let's go
use
have a
your
conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yes. That's a fine and normal thing to do.
So I'm kind of wondering, like, as Nira is technically carrying a spirit within her, I don't know if I'm getting any, like, weird vibes or some kind of knowledge about this place.
what sort of thing are you trying to tell specifically? I mean, this is potentially something I'll let you roll for, but I want to know what you're actually wanting to know.
Any kind of, like, familiarity, as if if Rushama had been here before, and what they might have done while here, or anything that the spirit might know about this place if they had been here before. And if not, then the answer is no. So
Yeah. I don't think you. I don't think you or you through Rashama know anything specific, detail oriented about this place. But I will let you make a religion roll.
okay. That is a 25.
Right. One of the things that you know about spirits through your religious training is that while many spirits, especially the ones that you encounter in the material world, do resemble things that you would see in the material world, or distorted or transformed versions of things that wouldn't be in the material world, but they don't have to be. And in fact, in other planes, they can even be spirits of like abstract concepts, like trust or dishonesty or things like that. In fact, Archie's original vow of vengeance had been to a spirit of vengeance from one of the outer planes. But what you know is that powerful spirits tend to coalesce around notable places or features of the land. And it occurs to you that a place like this might well have its own spirit. And it occurs to you also that if there were to be a spirit of this bathhouse, just entering might have been enough to wake it up.
All right, so I'm going to relay that.
So what you're saying is that we're in the presence of a living, powerful spirit.
That was really funny, Laurie.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to you on that one. That was
I have
You-
my moments.
That's good putting that on the list, Cadence. You're making progress.
I
Already.
know, right? High five, Archie.
Looks at them. What the hell are they doing?
Well,
Why do I feel there was a side wager?
so it's
But
a
then
way,
Archie immediately hugs himself again. He's feeling very exposed.
so it's awake. It knows we're here. We may as well go introduce ourselves.
Maybe it will want to help us. I don't know.
Maybe we could just ask.
Maybe.
Well, no point standing around here. Let's go.
Yeah, if there was ill intent, it could have ambushed us or anything.
Yeah.
So
It hasn't actually even said anything else since that first statement.
Oh, don't worry, Otterkey. It still could. He just starts
Oh, yeah.
walking along.
Oh, Laurie. Remember what we talked about.
All right. Anyone
I am
else?
going to be extra careful not to disturb anything if I can avoid it.
Sure. All right. So you're just kind of heading towards the back, or what are you looking for something, or? I mean, I think Amethyst had gotten her initial vibe when she was close to the big one in the back, but I'm asking you guys what you do.
I'm going to hold out the stone and wave it around once in a while, see if it reacts to anything.
Not
Yeah.
so far.
Oh yeah, the stones.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the pools because that's where people's using soap.
Right.
No, wait, that doesn't make any sense because this is special soap, so it wouldn't be with the pools. It would be in like one of the shed areas.
Yeah, this is like punishment soap.
Yeah,
Not the
not happy soap.
yeah.
Mugen, I feel like you didn't really think this through very well. I'm just saying.
I mean,
This is a great fun time. I'm just saying, it doesn't feel like you thought it through very well.
have you met me?
Only just. It's only been like 2 days. No,
Fair enough. It feels like a lot longer, like
it does, like months.
years sometimes.
Sometimes.
So
Okay, so we're walking towards
You're-
the big entity.
I guess, and you're sort of waving these stones around, but so far nothing seems to be pinging. You make your way past these various pools. You see the spirits, and as I described earlier, each Each of these pools has like little tables by it where there seems to be, you know, various sorts of refreshments and little bowls of weird powders and candles and incense and all sorts of different things, different combinations of them at each, you know, at each pool.
I want to do an investigation check for
Okay.
to kind of move this along.
Sure.
Just see what I can see. Maybe there's a clue, perhaps some jam. Who knows?
Does anybody look guilty?
What was that? That's a 19, so not bad.
You definitely are looking around at these various pools, and you're noticing, you know, because you're looking carefully, that there's a lot of these pools that are not necessarily like in perfect condition. Like some of them have, you know, sort of gross-looking algae coating on the sides, and then there's some places where things have been like knocked over, and it's not like a mess, but it's also not pristine. You notice that, but one of the other things you really detect is, despite there being a variety of different things sort of present at each of these pools, you don't really see anything that looks like soap at all of any kind. It seems like different maybe herbal salts or other things that might get soaked in the water, but nothing that looks like a bar of soap. But what you do find as you're moving closer is that when your eye catches this big thing in the back, it just kind of looms in a way that seems to draw your attention, and you get the feeling with your 19 that that's actually where you need to be directing your focus here.
Guys, I think we need to get toward the weird doohickey.
As you reach sort of the end of this little road, there's like a little sort of a shed that's like got different supplies of things. And in fact, as you get closer, you realize that in the back of this little shed right here is actually what looks like a bar. Like there's all sorts of ingredients that look like they're for making drinks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But as you kind of realize that that's kind of the end of this path, you discover nonetheless that this enormous, strange, alien-looking spirit is looming overhead.
All right, I'm gonna hop on. I'm gonna scramble up on top of the bar shed,
Okay.
and then scramble up so I can get up on the ledge there.
All right. Doop, 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 doop. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to go against type here, against my nature, but it was a really good suggestion earlier. And I'm going to be honest and say, hi, we don't mean to intrude for any longer than we have to. But I was wondering, you know that punishment soap you have to keep people out? Could we have some?
There is a sort of rumble throughout everything that feels as though if an earthquake could be a chuckle, that's what it feels like. And you see ripples on a lot of the ponds, even as everything else remains frozen. And you hear the voice say, "A remarkable request from remarkable mortals. Understand,
Yeah, that's us.
Understand, mortals, that you are not permitted here. This is not a place for mortals. This is where spirits come to replenish themselves away from mortal souls. But these are extraordinary circumstances and extraordinary mortals."
And no one seems to be bothered by us. Huh?
Indeed. The soap. You wish the soap. Why?
Well, do you remember a this is a little while ago. I don't know if you were still here, if you worked here then, but there was a trainee in the service of Huli Jing, a monk. I believe Pan was his name, and he snuck in here and got soaped, so he couldn't come back, and it just seemed like a really good thing to have to deal with a shapeshifter problem we have.
Such treatment is the fate of mortals that enter this premises. But there are other circumstances in which mortals may sometimes be granted the privilege of seeing the sights of this beautiful springs. And were you all to meet these requirements, then you would be permitted to leave in peace with the soap that you request.
Oh, challenges. Yes, we're good at those. Absolutely. That seems fair.
Is it riddles? Because I'm super good at the.
She's so good at riddles.
It is not challenges so much as service.
Oh. Well, all right, that's fine.
Everybody always wants something.
I do my best to provide a sanctuary for the spirits who come here. I do my best to please them and provide them with the things that will make them happy and relaxed. But there are many challenges, and not everything can be done easily all the time when there are many spirits present. But under these extraordinary circumstances such as now, I believe that you could provide service for this bathhouse in a way that would not disturb the visiting spirits, but instead to present them with the appearance of suddenly performed transformation.
I mean, I think we're game, right? We're all game for this?
I don't know anything about any of that.
It is not actions that would be difficult for mortal minds to comprehend.
I think
There
we could. We'll give it a shot.
There are three tasks that I would ask of your group. First, all of the spirits present require refreshment. There are orders present in the refreshment cabin. Make each of them the drink they request and deliver them. In addition, some of the pools require scrubbing to remove the algae. I would require that this algae be scrubbed away without disturbing the spirits in the pools. Last but not least, the heat for this hot springs is generated by fire spirits who play below in the stones beneath us. There is an area which they enjoy playing in, but they create quite a lot of soot, and this soot causes them to generate heat inefficiently. They would need to be brushed. They don't enjoy this process, and it generates a lot of heat. I would require that you brush them off and then soothe them back into happiness once they are clean. Perform these tasks, and you will have the soap that you ask.
And this is a one-time thing. And these aren't infinite spaces or something silly like that.
This is not a trick. You have come to me with a request, and I have given you what I would require.
He thinks everything is a trick. Don't worry about it.
We've dealt with a lot of tricky people.
I'm working on him. Don't worry.
All right.
Alaric,
Wow.
this enormous spirit begins to move directly towards you, but strangely, it doesn't change size in your vision. So even though it was up far away and looked huge, somehow it remains a constant size even if as it's moving closer to you, as though it's shrinking to stay exactly the same proportion in your field of vision. And it floats right up to your face and says, "How vulnerable you must feel to never leave your weapon behind."
I don't like feeling vulnerable. It's too easy to get stabbed in the back. Or the front, for that matter. It's a dangerous world outside these walls, at least.
And in this place, I strive to create an atmosphere where that vulnerability is safe.
For spirits, not for mortals. That's what you said.
It's just hovering there.
Maybe don't sass the spirit of the bathhouse, Chuckles.
Look, I'm just tired of powerful beings shoving me around.
You
I
came
didn't mean
to
any
me.
offense by it.
Okay,
Boy,
but
did you pick the wrong line of work.
we came here to ask for a favor. I think it's only fair that, we see to the tasks that this spirit has offered us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right.
Nothing is free, you know that, Alaric.
I think
I
that
know,
Alaric
I know.
has
Yeah.
come for another reason. But
Ooh.
it is a reason that he may not permit himself. This is not something that I would force upon anyone. But there are
Mani-pedi.
healing properties of these springs.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Christiana.
That's all right. There are healing properties in these springs. Mortals are not permitted for the comfort of the spirits, not because the magic does not work on them.
I'm not exactly sure if I know what you mean, but I've got
Many
a lot of stuff
spirits
to do
come.
before I can rest.
Many spirits come to me with a hardened shell, a crust that they have generated to protect themselves from the world outside, and they come here to let that shell soak and crumble away until they can be who they really are underneath.
Must be nice for them to have that chance. It's not so easy for mortals.
You know, they have bathhouses for mortals, Chuckles. Like, you could go to one.
Who's got the time?
Us right now.
Literally, all time is
Like
frozen.
so much time.
And
We
Yeah,
could
I'm-
spend a month.
the spirit begins to float back to where it was, and it says, "It is difficult, but the difficulty does not come from the world."
I think it's got you pegged, Alaric.
Oh.
All right, so tasks. Are we dividing up?
Sure. I'll take the drink.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I can handle the heat, so think I'm on scrubbing duty for sure.
I'm like totally not good at water, so I would really like to not scrub algae if possible.
I can.
Oh yeah,
I
most
can-
of us can breathe water now too, so
Yeah, I'll
that'll
take
come in
it.
handy.
Whoever wants to help.
I mean,
What, Nira?
I'll take the algae if anybody else wants to help.
shouldn't Amethyst have like some algae magic things that she can do?
Well, but we have to do it without disturbing the spirits. and magic can do that.
Fair enough.
Well, Eric's always doing that prestidigious thing.
Yeah, but it's
He likes
magic.
cleaning stuff.
If the magic would bother them, I wouldn't want to. I don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to take away their peace here. I
Right.
don't want to take anybody's peace away.
Okay, but that's a conversation for another time. Let's table that for later and just
But
get
we're
to work.
excited that you want to have that conversation.
Yes.
That's some real growth. That's real growth.
You know, I don't think sound carries underwater. It seems
So
like a
what was
better
the-
place.
What was the brushing task?
There are fire spirits that when they play, they get covered with soot, and that makes them the heat less efficient. And so they need to
But
be
they also-
essentially like cleaned off. But
They also
they
need
don't
to be
like it.
soothed, right?
Yeah, they don't like it. So once they're brushed off, they need to be like made happy again.
Alaric, didn't they have a spirit like that in the mines?
Oh yeah, the furnace.
Yeah, the ones that ran the forges, yeah.
Do you know how to speak to them?
I mean, not very well.
Well, you do.
I can try, I guess. I don't speak directly to them. It's more of some of them understand Dwarven, some of them understand Gnomish. I can try those, I guess.
Well, I think. Do you remember how I was telling you sometimes it's about intent?
Yeah, I suppose.
So channel that. We're
All right, I
thinking
guess I'm on-
calm and peaceful and I know this is not your
Positive.
strong suit, but
Do you really think this is a good
happiness
idea?
and contentment.
Well,
Trying is all I'm saying.
even neutral would be an improvement. So if all you can swing is neutral, that works too.
You are very good at apologizing.
That's
But
true.
But you are who you are, so
All
But-
right.
Let's not think about whether it's a good idea, and let's just do it.
yeah. All we're doing is catering to these spirits that are in this condition because of dealing with mortals. And what are we? Mortals. Let's be nice to them for a little while, get what we need, and it'll be good.
Think of it as doing
Just like a
service
glimpse
for
of the
others.
Future. Okay. Algae. Right. Okay.
So who's
And
doing
we have-
algae with Nira?
I'm trying to figure out if I have a shape that I can transform into with polymorph that'll help with brushing off the little beasties.
Octopus? Oh,
Well, the heat.
water. The heat.
What was the thing that you were talking about that
Maybe like a fire elemental.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have thumbs for brushing. So I was kind of hoping the DM could help me figure out if I have a wild shape. I know it's a terrible thing to ask, but I'm totally stunned by this option, this need. So I don't know.
I mean, off the top of my head, you haven't really gone down to even look at anything yet, so I don't know that you would know yet what is needed.
Oh, Amethyst, I could use your help.
Oh, okay.
I have the perfect job for you.
Oh God, it's going to be so messy. I just know
All
it.
right. So sounds like we maybe have Amethyst and Nira doing tubs, Otterkey and Alaric with the fire spirits. Yes.
Sounds like it.
Sure.
Mugen had volunteered for drinks, but what about Ket and Cadence?
I'll go help
We
make
need to
drinks.
deliver the drinks to the various people.
Yeah, man, I'll mix up a margarita.
All right.
Katarina.
Nice.
All right.
I'm all ready to do some mixology. Let's do it.
All right, so we're gonna start with that. So as you make your way to this refreshment cabin area, you find actually everything blurring a little bit and transforming into things that are a little bit more like familiar, that you could like manipulate with your mortal hands and understand a little bit better what's happening. It's less sort of ethereal and mysterious and more like, oh, okay, yeah, here's glasses and here's ingredients and so on. But what you find as you enter there is that there does seem to be a sort of floating book that is constantly flipping through what seem to be various pictographs that look like they might be indicating different kinds of drinks.
Excellent. I snatched the book from midair.
All right. You do that. And as you look behind the bar, there is sitting on the back of the bar there does appear to be a sheet, like a parchment scroll that has symbols that seem to match various ingredients. It's a drink menu, how to make different cocktails
Sure.
list. But it's still all in very obscure sort of pictographic form. So
All right.
the first skill check we're going to need is to try to interpret all of these symbols to figure out, like, what do these orders actually mean from this list, and what does this ingredient list actually refer to?
All right.
And so this is basically an investigation check that I'm looking for. And because there's more than one of you, like, you can all be helping, so whoever makes the check can do so with advantage.
All right. I'm making the check. I'm doing it. Oh, that was not good, so I'm glad I have advantage. Nope. Oh, better. 20.
Okay, yeah. So it takes a little while, but and there's some false starts, but you do eventually start to put together what the different symbols refer to, and you feel pretty confident that even though you don't know what you would even call it if it had to be expressed in words, you can look at this little book that seems to have a symbol on it and compare it to a symbol on this little menu, and then look at the symbols that seem to be ingredients and figure out which ones those are behind this bar. You feel like you've got that pretty figured out. But the next skill challenge is going to be to actually mix the drinks. But
Right.
before we come to that, let's jump over to Tub Crew.
So, Amethyst, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this particular kind of animal. Back home, I had a friend that had this. They were kind of a richer family, and they had commissioned this large glass bowl, basically. And filled it with water and different stones, and they even had a little castle in there. It was so cute. But then they put fish in it. And in order to keep this bowl clean, they had one particular type of fish, and I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Placostomus, I think is...
That sounds right. But it would go through, it had this very strange mouth that would just like suck on the sides of the bowl and clean it.
So your plan is for me to eat everything in here? That's...
Well, there's two of us, and you just have that spell.
That's right. Sorry. I'm like, I'm not that
I'm gonna
hungry
make you
yet.
do it. I mean, I know I'm not the most responsible of people, but come on. Credit.
Yeah, I could totally do that. I'd have to look up the stats.
Nah,
I don't have those handy, but unless Christiana says we need them, I can just...
No.
Can we make these fish, like, because they come in all different sizes, maybe a little bit bigger might be a little bit more efficient for cleaning this.
DM?
Well, so I feel like you could make a big version of this fish, either for your wild shape or for polymorph. But one of the things that needs to be, there's a lot of these different tubs, these different pools that you need to clean. So if you were both fish, how would you get from one tub to the next?
We work on one, change out because she cast that animal shape on me.
Oh, that's
And
true.
Yeah, so I can-
That's
24
right,
hours,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I can just keep redoing it.
Yeah.
Fish party! Yeah!
No, that's actually really cool. I'd kind of forgotten that you had that spell.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So,
So, yeah.
I mean, we'll have
Good
to get
one.
out and scrub the outside, by hand,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
No, that's a great idea.
All right. So, describe for me the scene, and I'll give you some, narrative control here. Describe for me the scene where you move to this first tub and begin this plan.
well, first I would check out is there anyone in it?
Well, let's just go ahead and say it's just this one right here with, this, Cthulhu walrus looking thing.
Which is a glorious creature, by the way.
It's unsettlingly familiar, though.
So, Nira, what color do you want to be? I'm going to be lavender. What do you think? Pink with sparkles?
I'm not particular.
Okay.
Have fun with it. Go for it.
Oh,
I may
okay.
regret saying that.
So, she's going to be like the whitest white of any pure white that you could ever imagine, right? But she's going to have these really brilliant gem like markings all over her, like really beautiful, bright, vibrant colors. Just a variety of them because I don't know her favorite color. We never talk about such things. It's always death and murder. Not murder, but I guess murder hobos is not what we call ourselves. Legends of Hero, we talk about heroic stuff. Yeah. So yeah, she's just like this really vibrant flash of color and brightness.
All right. And so then you've both turned into these fish, and you kind of just gonna slip in the tub and just go to town on that algae.
We're ladies, we are.
I've had worse ideas. Come on.
No, in fact, I like it so much you guys don't even have to roll for anything. So we'll just, but we'll leave you there for the moment, and let's follow Alaric and Otterkey as you are directed towards a tiny little spiral sort of stairway that leads down under the ground, and you follow this tunnel where the air temperature gets warmer and warmer, but as you emerge into this little central area, it's very much like sort of like a sauna that has the little, the hot rocks. I don't know what's the word for that.
Steam.
But
Yeah.
yes, you see essentially an enormous version of that, and playing around in that frozen is that you see what look to be vaguely humanoid in shape, but made from what looks like sort of rocks and volcanic rock. You see what almost look like children, like humanoid children, but made from this rock and magma that are mostly just like filthy, covered with black soot, but occasionally just little spots emerge where there's glowing red underneath. But they seem to be playing a game, except that they're currently frozen in position.
Oh, it's kids.
Ish, yeah. So is there some sort of implements? Is there a
Brush.
shed or a closet?
Yeah, there's some basically some just rough sort of not wire, but just very sort of stiff bristled scrub brushes like you might scrub a tiled floor with.
Yeah.
That there are kind of just sitting to one side.
I'm guessing once it starts, they're gonna wake up and start getting hot, which
Yeah.
I can handle
Oh.
the heat now. I've got no problem with it, but
I'm sure my fingers will grow back. It'll be fine. All right. Grab a brush.
yeah, or yeah.
Walk over to the nearest one of them.
So unless you can think of some way to entertain them while I do this part.
I've never really been an entertainer of any kind.
Yeah,
I don't know.
see what happens. I'll just
Maybe
walk up
maybe
and
like they
start.
said, it's like intent or something.
Right.
All right.
Calm brushing. Wow. They're not going to like it no matter what. Happy brushing.
Well,
No,
So-
I'm going to reach out and put my hand on one of their shoulders gently.
all right. So as you do that, it's very hot, and as you are holding that contact, and it gradually begins to awake, you're going to take 3 fire damage just from the contact. But as it comes and unfrozen, it looks up at you with sort of big, like black glossy eyes, and looks at you with, does sort of the curious head tilt for a moment, and then dives down like into the pile of rocks.
Oh. Didn't mean to scare you. I'm here to, I've got a brush and it's time for a bath. You need to have a bath and you can shine more.
What's your AC without your armor?
14.
It got a crit.
Cool.
A rock flings up out of the pile and hits you in the head.
Oh,
Or
no. I activate the gloves of, shit, what are they called?
Missile snaring?
The gloves of missile snaring.
okay,
Nice.
yeah, you would have taken 7 bludgeoning damage, but however your gloves work, figure out they can probably.
D10 plus my dexterity mod, so it soaks up to 9 points.
All right, yeah, so you catch it.
All right. Ha! Good shot, kid. Where'd that come from?
I'll call out, what can I say? Infernal? Maybe?
I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll try Infernal. Just say, just here for a little cleanup, and then we can get back to playing.
Alaric, you take another 2 fire damage from holding that rock because it's so hot.
All right. I'm going to keep holding it.
Okay. So you say that, Otterkey, and there's 3 of these little spirits, by the way, but only one of them has been unfrozen. But you see that it's not like merging with the stones, but it's able to just sort of like dive in and almost like they part around it like water. But it's not like physically inside the stones, if you follow me, right?
Yeah.
It's like Scrooge McDuck's money bin, like. But in any case, the stones kind of like rumble and shiver, but you don't get any other response.
I don't know what it speaks, but I guess I'll try to go fishing.
Okay.
I'll try to dig it out.
All right.
And
So
as I'm trying to, I'll just say, the faster we get this done, the faster.
So you're making a
Yeah.
grapple check.
All right.
So that would be athletics.
That would be 17.
Uh-huh. It's a squirmy little critter, and he gets away from you. He's definitely like, you get your hands on him enough to sort of lift him up out like this little squirming thing, and he's just like flailing like a toddler and basically wrests himself out of your grip and jumps back in. And even though you're immune to fire damage at the present, you get the sense that like you'd be taking fire damage if otherwise. But yeah, so
Hot potato.
So let's leave you guys there for the moment and revisit the Spirit Tiki Bar here. We have do we have everyone? Yeah. Okay. Good.
Back just in time.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
So I says to the guy, and oh wait,
All
we're
right.
supposed to mix
So
the drinks.
what you all recognize now is that some of these drink recipes require kind of like a very specific timing and a lot of very precise measurements and mixing and shaking in very precise ways. That's complicated and difficult to do. And
something complicated with your hands, you say?
Yes, I do. But here's the thing. So obviously, if you guys are all just willing to just let Mugen do all of it, it will take longer because despite Mugen being faster, there's a lot of drinks to make. So, but anyone who is helping to make some of these is going to need to do their own check. And this it is sleight of hand, but what yeah, you know what? It's sleight of hand because we did the investigation already. I was thinking about making it like a combination check, but it's not.
Oh, well, thankfully, as a planetar, my dexterity is very good. So I will help to make the drinks.
I got a 19.
That's
31.
very good.
23.
All right, all three of you are making
we're
these
doing
drinks.
this.
Yeah. So I would like
We're
each
like
of
swinging bottles around cocktail style.
Cocktail, yeah. Do the
Yeah.
hippie
I would like each of you to describe for me one of these spirit cocktails that you make.
All right. Well, one of them starts with what appears to be molten silver, which is in a heat-lined cup, but is clearly steaming. And it takes me a couple of tries to find the right glass that won't melt when it hits it. But I do succeed in finding that right glass. And then I take what is apparently some sort of crustacean. I'm not quite certain. And I just kind of get its essence into the drink, sort of wave it around and do a little dance. And that kind of gives the essence of the crustacean into the silver. That goes in with some rock salt and a little bit of lime. And then there's this bottle that I'm assuming is alcohol. It smells like alcohol. It looks like alcohol. But when I pour it in, it sounds like laughter. And I don't know, man.
Nice.
That whole thing goes into a cocktail shaker where give it a nice shaky shook and then pour it out back into the glass that was originally and put a little umbrella on it.
Nice.
Holy cow, man. Well, the drink I've been tasked with making is known as a Fruity Tooty. And it comes in a very chilled glass. And it is like this mix of lime juice and coconut milk and a squish of lemon. And it's just very fruity. There's some kiwi in there and strawberries and everything like that. And then there's like this little pouch of glitter that I have to pour into the drink. And before I pour in the pouch of glitter, the drink just, it's got this nice fruity aroma, but the glitter adds this toothy aroma to it, like somebody just farted. And I don't know why anybody in this damn bathhouse would want a Fruity Tooty, but there you have it. It's a nice chilled fart drink just for the spirits.
Very nice.
Well, mine doesn't even go in a glass.
Oh.
It's so weird because there's no glass for it. But as you grab the different containers and you start to pour, they actually fill an area that looks like a glass in layers, rainbow iridescent colors. And then I top it with this little thing that looks like a cherry, only it's green. but not like an unripe cherry. It looks like it's perfectly ripe.
Very nice. All right, so all of you are expertly making drinks like you were born to it. So let's revisit our tub crew. You have been eating the algae away, which is working. And as you sort of finish gently nibbling away all of the algae, you are able to swim around very gently and not disturb any of the spirits in there, making all of these tubs look a lot nicer. You now, and you're changing back and forth from the fish into your humanoid forms to go in between each of these tubs. But what you realize is that each of these tubs does need, they have various sort of herbal, mixtures put into the water, and you need to sort of top them off now that the algae is gone. But in order to know which one, what substance goes in which, you're going to need to just be able to try to smell what's in there and then smell the ingredients to try to match. So we're looking for a perception check and then an investigation check as you try to smell what is in it and then try to find that matching smell.
All right. Pretty good
Find
at
that
perception.
smell.
Parented.
What?
All
You said perception check?
perception
Yeah,
check.
I'm pretty good at those. So
Yeah, so you can either each make one of your own, or you can have one of you do it with advantage.
I got +4, but I can assist you if you're higher. Give you advantage.
I got a 28. So
Oh yeah, no.
I have a +11 to perception. So
All right.
Yeah.
So you're doing a good job of identifying the subtle flavor notes in each of these smells, and some of them are just this otherworldly, delicate floral beauty, and some of them are real nasty. But you are able to detect the traces of each within the various tubs, but now you have to find what that substance is so you can add more to each of these tubs.
all right, Amethyst, how's your investigation?
You're muted. Oh, there you go.
+2. It's only a +2.
Yeah, I have a +3, so significantly less. But if we work together,
I got you, girl.
okay, try it. That is let's see, a 17 +3, so a 20. But if I have advantage, I can roll again, although that's pretty good. But yeah,
You do have advantage.
that one was only a 10, so
Okay. All right. Yeah, you feel like you're pretty confident that for each of these tubs you have found the substance, so you're able to kind of top off and make fresh the various scents in each of these pools now that they're all clean and the water looks a bit fresher. So let's now go back under the ground to Otterkey and Alaric trying to wrangle these little wiggly fire spirits.
Going fishing.
So do they
Yeah,
seem to be popping up in like popping up at all, or are they just
No,
buried
you're
in the
literally
water?
having to like root through this pile of stones to try to just literally physically grab them. And the stones are all burning hot.
Are there any piles of stones
I mean,
like large enough I could hide behind?
sure. I don't. You're trying to just hide from the fire spirits?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't know if they're going to understand him or not, but he'll call out in, I guess, common, putting as much meaning, feeling, whatever behind it. If that's your game, I bet you I can hide better than you can. Come find me.
Interesting.
challenge.
Interesting. Make a persuasion check with
Okay.
advantage because I like it.
18.
18. Yeah, you call out that sort of challenge, and then you go and you hide elsewhere in the room, and you can't really see because you're hidden. But Archie, you do see. I'm gonna. You guys didn't really say, but I'm gonna assume that we have at least Are they all three unfrozen?
Yeah.
Or, okay,
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if you were
More
specifically
fun.
trying to do one at a time but yeah, they do seem like they're curious, and they're sort of popping up to look curious over towards Alaric's direction, and they're distracted. So Otterkey, you think that you could probably have advantage trying to grab at one.
All right. Ooh, there we go. 27.
There you go. Yeah, snag. Got him, and he's very wriggly, but you're strong, and you got a good grip on him this time. So yeah, you now what we so Alaric, what do you do now that Otterkey's got one? Do you come up
I'm
to
still
help him?
hoping. Nope.
Okay.
I'm still calling out for them to try to find me,
Okay.
and I'm going to hold an action.
All right. What action are you holding?
It's an attack,
Okay.
which I'm going to do tag with the brush.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Yeah. So like non-lethal soot damage.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So make your attack roll as one of them kind of peeks around the corner to look where you went.
Okay. I guess unarmed strike would be the appropriate one, unless a
Well,
brush is considered
or
to be armed.
improvised weapon. I don't know if you have
I
proficiency.
don't. I don't
in
have that one. This character.
Yeah, unarmed strike works.
All right. That's a dirty 20.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you make contact, and as you do, as you scrub away with the brush, you do reveal underneath the soot that there is much sort of brighter, molten-looking stone there. But the this little spirit kind of gasps and sort of half, like there's a little bit of alarm and fright there, but also a little bit of maybe this is fun. I'm not sure. You know how little kids can sometimes have that sort of like, I'm not sure I know how I feel exactly right now. It could go either way.
Well, I'm just going to call it in response. Tag, you're it, and see if I can get it to follow me.
There you go. Well, let's go one more persuasion check again with advantage, because they are like kind of on board with this idea.
Oh well, that was only a 14.
Okay. Yeah, so I think they're definitely still playing with you and like following, but they're keeping their distance after that one. So like you think it might still take a little bit more time for that. But in the meantime, Otterkey has got one, held, and you're working to scrub. So let's get
Yep.
sleight of hand if you have it. Otherwise, just a dexterity check, or
Okay.
you know what, athletics would work okay too, because just trying to, basically
Right.
continue holding it where you're like, hold still.
Manhandle them. They're tougher than I am. Oh, sweet. Another 29.
Okay, so it is obvious to you that this little spirit is very unhappy about this, making all sorts of weird sort of rumbly, squalling noises, struggling. But I think that you can also tell that a lot of this is kind of performative. It's not like genuine fright or distress, and more like, but no, I don't wanna, like that sort of thing, as opposed
Sure.
to like pain or fear. It's irritation, if anything. And but you are nonetheless able to scrub that one pretty well.
All right.
Yeah. So Alaric, as you've got these other two, I think you're sort of occasionally getting like glancing blows on them, but they still got a lot of soot on them for the moment. What's your next tactic here?
Is there a
Is-
third brush?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pause for a moment, cast Mage Hand, and grab that brush.
Okay.
And now I'm going to try to corner them between myself and the other, trying to play a form of scrub tag, I guess. I don't know.
Nice.
He's probably laughing a little bit at this because it's absolutely ridiculous.
All right. So, what skill do you think makes sense to you for that?
Oh, God. I don't know. Athletics or acrobatics, I guess.
You know, it's kind of like tactical, but it's still kind of the attached in the
Stealth?
sense of. I mean, yeah, I would buy stealth. You know, you're trying to sort of use the two different brushes to sort of navigate them and like have them focus on one while you scrub with the other and so on.
I mean, I do kind of get the visual of this kind of crazy thing where brushes are flying everywhere, and every once in a while, one just sort of nicks one of them,
Yeah.
revealing a little patch, and then it's kind
Yeah.
of like, where did that come from? One of them nicks it in the back of the head.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Because it's basically like playing tag. You know, every so often you kind of get them with the brush and it reveals a bit more of them. But they're, you know, they seem like they're having fun with this though. They're having
thankfully-
fun with this game, but they are also still trying to evade the brushes. So
Thankfully, Autarky is busy, and the rest of them aren't here, so none will see that he's actually smiling and laughing. That's a 26 stealth.
all right, yeah. So I think as you play this game, you are gradually, little bits at a time, scrubbing a lot of the soot away. And so because they're having so much fun, you get the sense that they maybe don't need to be soothed because they're actually glowing pretty brightly as you clear the soot away. But in the meantime, Autarky, yours has eventually kind of resigned himself to this is going to happen, but he's very sullen and sulky right now, and he's like, so you're clearing the coating of soot away, but he's kind of just very sort of smoldering
Sure.
fire. And he's just like,
I guess I'll try to think of a song. Could start humming along, humming like as I work,
yeah,
and then just start making up a song. And I don't know if it could understand me or not, so I'll like alternate between infernal and, and
okay,
common,
sure,
or just and then pretty much just kind of gibberish, because I don't know that he really knows any scrubbing songs, but just
Yeah.
brush, here we go, and
Sure.
shrub scrub, Heidi ho, and chin, and then a win, and
I think you
Please
get
do
the
go
sense
on.
as you're doing this that they don't seem to like understand your words exactly, but they're definitely getting the the gist of things with the your tone and everything. You feel like they get it, they get you, and they do seem to enjoy the song. But let's see how effective it is with a performance check.
all right. Oh, not good. But performances in general. All right, 24.
Nice. Yeah, so eventually your song brightens the spirits and the glowing fiery core of this little fire spirit. And so before too long, you have all three of these little fire spirits that have been freshly scrubbed of all that soot and also seem to be in cheery spirits as you allow them to jump back into their stone basin playpen thing.
I
And
high five the mage-handed brush.
yeah. So I think that Autarky didn't take any fire damage. Alaric, you still have your regeneration from the axe, if I'm not mistaken. So you were certainly being burned often enough, but it was never serious enough that there was any real risk. You know, it was kind of healing almost as fast as you were getting burned, but they were definitely burning you. Okay, so well done. And so I think we did everything for the tub. So the one last thing that is required for the mixology crew. And I actually meant to give this challenge to you ahead of time so that you'd have time to think about it, but now you get to be on the spot because I forgot. You realize that each of these drinks, this is something that Mugen realizes at the bottom of this menu at the last minute, because you thought at first that this was just something where it was kind of like for flavor. There's this extra little, you know how some like cookbooks will have just like some fancy quote about, you know, freedom or something like at the bottom of the page for something. But then you realize, no, each of these drinks needs to have an original rhyming couplet spoken over it. And so I'm only going to make each of you do one, but I would like it to be as on theme as possible, and it is just like 2 lines that rhyme the last word. And like if you really feel stuck and on the spot and you're scared or something, we can roll for it. But you know, I think for fun, if you can come up with one, that will also suffice.
I kind of need a minute.
Yeah. Coming up with rhymes, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
Ask anyone, they'll tell you the same.
Oh, shit.
Let me unmute. That's the important
Oh,
part.
well, there you go, yeah.
Here I've made this libation. I hope it helps with your refreshation.
Refreshation is my new favorite word.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, yeah.
How many lines does it have to be?
Just
2.
just 2 lines, just a couplet.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to do more, I'm certainly not going to tell you to stop.
This drink is for you. Enjoy it, even if it smells like poo.
Yeah, there you go.
Mine is, all of this is for the spirits. I only hope that they can hear it.
Very nice. All right. Well done, everyone. You have completed the tasks successfully, and as you sort of, you know, regroup, you hear the spirit speaking to you to say, "Well done. It has been some time since I had mortals provide services to the bathhouse in this manner, but you are remarkable mortals, and you have performed a remarkable service. So I will grant your request." And all, sort of forming out of like a little ball of light inside this spirit's strange shape, you see this little floating globule of light kind of drift over to your direction, almost like it's a dandelion seed sort of floating on the breeze. But it's about the sort of the size of like a bar of soap. Does someone, you know, grab it? Or
I grab it.
all right. You grab it, and all of a sudden you are holding in your hand what would seem to be a bar of really harsh, like, nasty soap. Like, you know, just this, it's the stuff that you put, you know, when you've got a really nasty stain and you just really gotta scrub it out. That's what kind of soap this is. It doesn't.
It's mostly borax.
Yeah, it's not the kind of soap that you
Why?
say we'd like to take a fun bath with. This is, you know, but then again, it's punishment soap.
It's lie and ash and hatred. This is going to be great for her, you guys.
Mm-hmm. And so as you receive that, the spirit says, "Because of the service that you have granted this place, I ask you to leave only when you are ready. And I will leave you with the following advice as well. This is something that is what brought me into existence. It can be difficult for anyone to remove their shell. But if you don't do it, overcoming that difficulty, you forget how entirely. And then it's not a shell. It's just who you are.
Wise words. If I could ask you one thing, it is a custom of mine to honor people in my memory. If I could ask you your name.
I don't have a name as you understand them, because names are for mortals, and generally mortals do not come here. But as you have performed a service and made an honorable request, I will allow you to call me by any name that you wish.
I think I'll call you Peaceful. That's what you seem to be. And that's what this place seems to be.
A good name.
A worthy name. Thank you.
Alaric, didn't you have at one point, I don't know if you still have them, you were given stones.
I think I have one
Father
left.
Kidney?
Yeah, I think I have one left. It's in the bag, I think. I don't have it on me. If I can retrieve it. I don't know if I knew who was holding the bag or if the bag even came in with us. It might be outside, actually.
Yeah, I think you left that stuff outside, but, at this point, I think you get the feeling that, you're not being escorted out.
Right. If I may leave for but a moment, I'd like to present you with something, but it sits outside this place.
Of course.
I'll go and fetch one of the stones. And I think I only had 3, so I think this is the last one. It doesn't look like much. Neither do I, so that seems fitting. But it's given out of respect. It's been carried for a long time. I was given an instruction to give these to worthy spirits that I meet along my way. It will give you, perhaps, an insight to where I'm from. Maybe you and the spirit of the place that I'm from can speak. I don't know how these things work, but I'd like to give it to you, to place it somewhere here in your realm, anywhere you like.
Choose the spot that seems right to you, and it will be the right spot.
I think this is all. It is all an aspect of you.
That is
Do
correct.
I have that right?
Yes.
And I think I'll give it to a rambunctious trio who seem to like to play with rocks. I think that the spirit itself would get a kick out of that. And maybe they'll grow to know it too. So I'll head back downstairs and kind of present it on the pile of rocks. It only looks a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Not volcanic, but rounded. More earthy. Less fancy. I kind of get the impression that this looks just like any other boulder, but if you know what it is, it means something entirely different.
Mm-hmm. So they had, time stopped again when you left them previously. Do you, wake them again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And he'll wait there.
Okay. There is a lot of small rumbles under these stones that has almost a childlike giggling quality to it. And then what you see is the stones kind of just part to let that rock kind of sink down underneath with them.
And kind of kneel down and pat the ground. Enjoy it. It was fun. I'll probably never see you again, but thank you. Then he'll go back up.
When he comes back up, Alaric, I don't think you noticed this happen, but when you come back up, everyone else sees that it looks like he's got soot rings around his eyes.
You know, I'm kind of shaking off the soot that would have accumulated anyway. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think I need a bath.
I think that's an excellent button to close tonight's episode. So I think that's where we will leave it for tonight. But thank you everyone for listening and or watching. Thanks again, of course, to our players. And we'll be back for more adventures on so many levels.
So
many
levels.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Birthday.